This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you in part by the Naperville Sun.
Well, Benet Academy boys basketball coach Heidkamp, you guys lose two Big Ten players. Last year coming into this year, a lot of people didn't really know what to expect out of you guys coming into the season. Where you guys are at now, I guess, just where are you compared to where you thought you would be once this season started?
Well, we're certainly satisfied with our season. We've had a pretty successful season. Our senior class is just a great group of kids, and they've really kind of kept the program at a high level. And we've got some good young players too, and Sean O'Mara and Pat McInerney, and together they've just done a great job of really making us competitive this year. So our expectations were to be as competitive as we could be. So I'm pretty pleased from that standpoint. I really credit our seniors and obviously those younger players as well for really stepping up and keeping our program at a high level.
And talking about those two guys, so David Sobolewski leading the Big Ten in assist-to-turnover ratio, Frank Kaminsky seeing some big minutes. What's it kind of like for the Benet community to see those guys doing as well as they have as freshmen in a power conference?
Well, I think it's very exciting. Obviously they're both playing very well, and it's exciting for me personally, and obviously for our players and our entire school. They've just done a great job, and I'm obviously. It's something that everybody's proud of, and hopefully they'll continue playing well through the rest of the season.
How much does that kind of motivate maybe these guys in here that, seeing those guys, what you can do from a Benet Academy, at the next level? I know you're talking about some of the other guys in that senior class are doing other things, in basketball and other sports at the next level as well.
Sure. Well, I think it serves as a motivating force for some of our younger players to see that these guys had a successful career and were able to go play at a high level. I think that the great thing is that our players are all really close, and obviously most of the players here on our varsity team played with them last year. So, I think it's great to see that Dave and Frank have both come back to multiple games, and some of the other seniors. So, it's a close, really tight-knit group, and that's the thing I'm most proud of. As much as their success, just how much they stay a part of our program.
To the here and now, you talked about a lot of the seniors that are on this team this year and the big impact that, they've had come, I wouldn't say unknowns, but, a lot of guys that didn't see very much time last year. How much is maybe, going against a lot of those guys in practice the last couple of years kind of really benefited them on game day this year?
Well, I think it's been a big factor. And that was one of our themes coming in, is that they played against one of the best teams in the state every day in practice last year. And just because maybe they're not household names because they played behind some really good players, that they had that experience of 90 practices last year where they played against the two Big Ten players and some really good other players as well. And I think that served us well, going into the season, and our confidence was high that if we competed like we were capable, that we could have a successful season.
Now, Pat McInerney, a junior this year, has seen plenty of varsity action already as a junior. What's he kind of like as a leader, kind of bringing along some of those other younger guys?
He's a great leader. He was a leader for us last year, even though he was a sophomore with the seniors. We have some other leaders on our team as well, but his experience speaks for itself. He played a lot as a freshman in our state tournament run and had a great impact on our team last year. We missed him for the first 13 games of the year. He was out injured. So getting him back in January was a huge boost for our team. And just his example in practice and just with how hard he plays and how intense he is, just a great example for everybody else.
East Suburban Catholic Conference, a little bit different this year as far as going around only one time. What kind of differences logistically for you guys as coaches does that make, where you're having maybe league games a little bit later in the year and changing up the schedule a little bit?
Well, we definitely had important conference games at the end of January through February. There's just not much room for error. There's so many good teams in our conference right now that if you don't play well, and obviously you lose some games, it's very difficult to make up. We've really some outstanding teams this year, and every game is really competitive, and just only going around once really puts a lot of urgency on every individual game. So it was definitely something new for our team, and hopefully we'll learn from it and get better with it next year.
Emergence of St. Viator in the conference this year, along with a couple of the other teams that are really strong. How much do those 8 games kind of prepare you where we are at now, getting ready for regionals here in a couple days?
Well, they definitely prepare us because of the urgency of the games and the quality of the teams and the coaches that we play against. We really like our schedule. We think we have a very competitive schedule. We play in some really good tournaments, and we play some really good competition in our non-conference. So we feel like we're as prepared as we can be from that standpoint. Now it comes out to just going out and trying to play as well as you can.
Talking with you after the Naperville shootout win against Oswego, one thing that you said that really stuck with me was that rebounding is probably the most important factor for this team. Why exactly is that?
I think two reasons. Number one, our defense really, we need to finish plays on a defensive end. If we can hold teams to one shot, it makes your defense look good, and it really you're able to hold opponents down. So you'll see. I don't know how good our initial defense is, but when we're able to hold teams to one shot, it really keeps us in games. And on the other end of the floor, that's the way that we need to score. We're not a fast-paced transition team this year, just based on our personnel. We need to find a way to get some easy baskets, and the way we do that is try to get easy points off the offensive glass. When we're really active on the offensive boards, it really gives us a whole nother dimension.
The other thing watching you guys play this year is the number of guys that can shoot it from long range. How nice is that as a coach to be able to throw in, 3, 4, 5 different guards in there that can really stroke it from behind the arc?
Well, it's definitely a benefit. We have multiple kids who can shoot the ball. We've got some good inside scoring, obviously. The ability to play inside out, and when teams want to double in the post, try to make them pay with our shooters. It's really a nice benefit to have. So we feel we've got some good diversity in our offense with our inside scoring and our outside capabilities.
And then a couple other, the other thing that kind of sticks out is the athleticism. Sean O'Mara threw down a putback dunk against Vider that was our play of the week, and we've seen Bobby Worley, he can really fly. What kind of things does that kind of add to your guys' offense, having that dimension?
Well, I think we have size and athleticism. It certainly opens up the dimension that you're talking about, especially when we're active. I think that's the whole key, is we have the athleticism, we have the size. We need to keep the intensity level up, and we need to be consistent on the glass. When we've got that athleticism, the ball goes up, we send 4 guys to the glass. With our size and athleticism, we really should make some good things happen. And like what you talked about, Sean's putback, and when Bobby's active on the glass, that adds a whole nother dimension. And Pat McInerney is a great rebounder for his size. But not only those 3 guys, but our guards as well are very good rebounders. So that size and athleticism is a huge factor for us.
Tough regional draw for you guys, with Bolingbrook in the semifinals, potential matchup with Mattia Valley, who's been very strong this year. What exactly does this team to do? What are you guys kind of focusing on as we look forward to those games?
Well, Bolingbrook's an excellent team, so we just look at it one game at a time, because I think they're one of the better teams out in the area. There's no doubt about that. They've got all the pieces. They've got great guard play. They've got a great inside score, and some other guys that really fill roles for their team. They're well coached. That's really a tough first round draw for us. So we're just focusing on trying to play as well as we can against Bolingbrook, because we know that we're going to have everything we can handle when we go play them. And Mattia Valley has obviously been one of the best teams in the whole Chicagoland area throughout the season, and if we were fortunate enough to get a chance to play them, that was obviously very, very difficult on their home court. But again, that was something that our challenge that we would welcome. Just with a great deal of respect for how good they are. Trying to beat them on their home floor would be a difficult task, but it's something you want to keep playing as long as you can come March. So something that we would definitely look forward to.
Well, Gene, obviously you guys have a lot to prepare for. We'll let you get to it. Thanks for letting us come by, and good luck this week.
Thank you very much.